All right, take it away.
Okay, and so got Ryan here helping me. What we're going to do is we're going to share my screen here a little bit, and we're going to start really talking about really careers. And so hopefully you'll see our screen coming up here. But a couple things, if you want, is if you have questions, of course, you can always ask your instructor, but you can always check out our website, which is automotive.siu.edu. And if you have any questions, you can always email us at autotech@siu.edu. And then if you're on any social media stuff, things like that, we've got a pretty extensive YouTube site. If you want to see videos of our drag racing teams and our autocross racing teams, or want to see what's going on, what's happening, you can check out some of our Facebook pages and Instagram pages and all that fun stuff out there. But just go to any of your social media and check SIU Automotive, and you'll typically be finding us. But to start with, we were talking a little bit about some of the careers and the opportunities. One area of jobs and opportunities we can classify into what we call the retail sector. The retail sector of our business, of our industry, deals with the end consumer, the person buying the car, the person that's taking the car in for getting serviced, or the person even going to the parts store to get parts. And so the retail is typically going to be your independent automotive repair centers, your Bridgestones, Firestones, Midases, Meinekes, your franchised repair centers. It's also going to be your dealerships, your parts stores, your body shops. This is what's referred to as the retail sector of our industry. And the types of jobs you're going to see there are going to oftentimes be like becoming a technician or a service advisor, or to be dispatching the work, or if you're in the parts area, maybe you're selling the parts. So this is the retail sector. These businesses are focused on dealing with the end consumer. And as your instructor was saying, if the retail sector is something that you're interested in, typically this is where that 2-year associate degree or a certificate type of a program is really focused at. And there's a lot of opportunities out there. Now, also in the retail sector, there's going to be some management positions. But typically to get to these management positions for like at a dealership, they are typically going to want you to have additional knowledge beyond a 2-year associate degree. And so that's where a 4-year baccalaureate degree starts coming into play. For example, a typical new car dealership today costs well over $25 million to build. And so if I own a new car dealership and I'm going to be hiring managers, I want those managers that not only know maybe the product, but also how do you run this business. And so those are some of the jobs in the retail sector. Now, there's also going to be jobs, instead of maybe being at, say, a General Motors dealership or a Toyota dealership or a Honda dealership and selling Honda parts or whatever it might be, what are the job opportunities actually going to work for Honda or for Toyota or for General Motors? And so these corporations, these companies that you're looking at on this screen, they typically require a 4-year baccalaureate degree. And now the difference between a 2-year associate degree and a baccalaureate degree, I'm going to back up one slide. If you're intending to go into the retail sector, the average pay for an automotive technician in the state of Illinois is currently $38,000. That means there are some technicians that make more than that. There's some technicians that make less than that. I know some technicians that make over $100,000, but those are very good technicians in a very well-supported dealership environment. But the average in the state of Illinois and across the nation for a technician is $38,000 a year. Now, the jobs we're going to be talking about with the baccalaureate degree going to work for these companies, typically the starting salaries for these companies ranges between $50,000 and $75,000 a year. And so that 2 additional years beyond the associate degree to the baccalaureate degree pays dividends very, very quickly. And so the other piece I want to point out here, it's more than just your automotive manufacturers like General Motors and Toyota. You're also going to see companies like your instructor talked about Cummins diesel engines or International Trucks or Robert Bosch. They're actually located in Broadview, Illinois. They're an automotive parts manufacturer. You'll see Ally Financial. They're located in Itasca. They hire a lot of SIU automotive graduates. But then it's also going to be companies like insurance companies with State Farm Progressive. You'll see equipment companies like Komatsu Equipment. You'll also see forklifts, trains. If it's got an engine, if it's got a motor attached to it, your skill sets are highly valuable to these particular companies. And so let's talk about the kinds of jobs these companies are recruiting individuals with a 4-year degree to go to work at. One area is teaching and training. And so I'm gonna pick on Evan. Evan, what's your favorite vehicle manufacturer?
I'd probably have to say BMW.
Okay, BMW. So you may have a job then working for BMW in their technical training area. So your job, they actually have a training facility up in the Chicagoland area, but your job is the BMW dealerships will be sending their technicians to you to be teaching and training them the latest and greatest technology on their vehicles. There's also going to be jobs in service diagnostics and tool development. And so let's go to Blake. What's Blake's favorite vehicle manufacturer?
Probably also BMW.
Okay, BMW. And so
So now they're all just sucking up.
Yeah. Think about the job.
Good answer, kids.
Of a BMW technician. Everything they need to do their job, somebody has to develop all that stuff. So when you're out in the shop and you're working on these BMWs, you're typically following a diagnostic procedure or a service procedure. Somebody has to write that and develop that. And so Blake, your job might be you're working with a 2025 or 2027 BMW product that we're looking at putting this new engine in. I need you to develop the service procedure for that new engine. Or if there's going to be a special diagnostic tool that we're going to need to be able to diagnose that fuel injection system on that new engine, I need you to help us develop that diagnostic tool. There's also going to be positions in tech support or field service engineers. What these individuals do, they're sort of like the firefighter. And so I'm going to go to Alexis. What's your favorite vehicle manufacturer?
Dodge or just General Motors.
Okay, let's just say General Motors, for instance. If you're a field service engineer for General Motors, you might be living there next to your hometown, but you're going to be like the firefighter. Wherever the fire's at, you're going. And so what this person does is if we have a customer that has a problem with the vehicle, let's say the car's not running right, and they've taken it back and forth to the dealership 2 times, 3 times, and we still can't get it figured out, many times General Motors is going to send that field service engineer to that dealership. You get to try to be the hero for the day, is because these technicians at that dealership, they've tried everything they can think of and they still can't get this vehicle diagnosed. So your job is to go in, try to help figure out what's going on, and let's get this customer's vehicle fixed right. But then the next day, there might be a vehicle broke down at a GM dealership over in Rockford. You're going to Rockford to try to figure out what's going on. The day after that, there may be a vehicle broke down at a dealership they can't figure out down in Joliet. So you're going to Joliet the next day. And so that's what a field service engineer does. We also talked about already at the retail area, if you want to get into the management, like service managers, parts managers, those types of positions. But also on the management side, there's individuals called district parts and service managers. And so let's go to Ethan Carter. What's your favorite vehicle manufacturer?
Probably Dodge.
Dodge, okay. And so your job here is for a district parts and service manager for Dodge is you'll be in an area and you'll have about 15 dealerships you're responsible for. Your job is to make sure those dealerships are profitable, make sure they're making money, make sure they're satisfying our customers, make sure they're following our company policies, procedures. And so if one of your 15 dealerships, you see profits going down and customer complaints going up, it's your job to go in there to work with those managers to try to get that business turned around. You're a business consultant to the car dealerships. And then we got another position you're going to see in many of these companies, and that's as a serviceability engineer. Have you guys ever worked on something and you go, who in their right mind designed this? I can see the bolt, but I can't get my wrench on the bolt. Or I got my wrench on the bolt, but I can't move the wrench. Or I got the part loose, but I can't get it out. I got to break my arm or 2 or 3 places to get back there and reach something. Any of you guys ever work on something like that? Can somebody give me an example? Well, if you haven't had an example yet, you will out there. But a serviceability engineer. So here we are, we're designing a new engine. And so your job is we have mechanical engineers that design parts and components. And so as we're looking here at the front of this engine, we have this purple line coming across this orange idler pulley. That purple line's the accessory belt, and it's looping around this orange idler pulley. Well, sitting in front of that orange idler pulley, we've got this silver bracket. But that silver bracket also happens to be part of the engine mount. So the motor mount is attached to the top of this. So the way the engineers design this vehicle is if that $10 orange idler pulley fails, we've got to disconnect the engine from the car, remove the motor mount, so we can remove this silver bracket so we can replace that $10 idler pulley. Your job is to go, time out, wait a minute, who designed this silver bracket? Can we modify this bracket so it can look maybe like this, so we can get this orange idler pulley of this other engineer's design off without having to take that silver bracket off? That's the job of a serviceability engineer. The serviceability engineer is also going to be running some simulations. Can you take this exhaust pipe, pull it, drop it, turn it, twist it, and get it out without hitting something? If we have to pull the engine to replace the exhaust pipe, it's a bad design. So if we're hitting something and removing this exhaust pipe, maybe it's that green bolt we're hitting right there that's holding that rack and pinion steering on. Find the engineer of that rack and pinion steering and see if we can adjust and move that over 3 or 4 inches to give us a little bit more clearance. This is your job as a serviceability engineer. Is that making sense to you guys? Okay. And so this gives you a rough idea of some of the different types of jobs these companies are looking for. What kind of degree did these companies typically require, did I say? Anybody remember? What kind of degree was this required?
Was it associates?
Well, the associate degree was for the technician type of jobs. This is where the 4-year bachelor's degree comes into play. All right. And then what was the typical starting salaries for those with this bachelor's degree going to work for these companies? Anybody remember that? The average $38,000 is what the technicians make. But starting to go to work for these companies, you're typically looking at starting between $50,000 and $75,000. So that 4-year bachelor's degree is what provides this. And so how do you afford going to college and looking at getting this 4-year bachelor's degree if this is something you're interested in? SIU, we provide all kinds of student grants and scholarships. In fact, we give out over $10 million a year in grants and scholarships. The big thing about grants and scholarships is you have to apply for them. It's sort of like the lottery. You're not going to win the lottery if you don't play the lottery. Same with scholarships and grants. You got to apply for scholarships and grants to get those. The other thing is we have numerous paid corporate internships that we have. And what this is, you'll actually go to work for maybe these companies during the summer, and they will pay you. Now, depending upon where you're located at in the company, some of these companies, they'll pay you typically $20, $22 an hour. So you can put some money in your pocket, but some of the companies also provide you fully furnished, paid corporate housing for you to live in, as well as some of them even give you a company car while you're an intern student. And so we have numerous paid corporate internships. Interviews for these internships typically start your very first semester many times. Coming here to SIU, we have companies here all the time. We typically have 2 or 3 corporate events a week with these corporations. In fact, who do we have last night, Ryan? Was it Ford Motor Company? Yeah, so we had Ford Motor Company just last night had a session with our students and looking at interviewing our students for internships and full-time hires. And so this is another way to help fund your education is through internships. And we have an extremely high demand for our students and our graduates coming out of this program, more so than you'll see at any other program out there. The other unique thing that you'll see about SIU Automotive, this is a very unique 4-year degree, but it is also SIU Automotive. We are the only automotive technology program in the world that's part of a major research university. Now it's like, okay, what the heck's that mean? What that means is that part of our mission is to connect you, our students, with our faculty members in our industry to not only be teaching the latest and greatest, but we're working together to try to help advance and move our industry forward. We've got some students working on a new experimental internal combustion engine theory right now. We just wrapped up a project with an experimental set of brake rotors on a truck. And so we've got a lot of different research projects that you can get involved in. And that only happens at SIU. Types of classes that you're going to be taking. If you're interested in technical, hands-on kinds of classes, SIU, we offer more hands-on technical training than any other program out there, by far. SIU Automotive, if you want hands-on technical training, we've got more of that than any other major or any other program out there. If you want to focus more on the business and the management side of things, we actually have all of our automotive business and management courses. They have been designed by industry. And so they are key partners in what we've got going on. The curriculum is also, it's going to be challenging. It's going to be applied. It's real world type of curriculum. It's focused on your career and it's focused on this industry, 100% of what we're doing. Now, this chart here might be a little bit hard for you to see, but it's also going to show that we're a very flexible program. Is that typically your first 2 years with us is you can see it's more of a directed type of curriculum where you're going to be taking first semester technical courses. You're going to be right in your automotive major courses your very first semester. You're going to take engines, manual drivetrains. You'll take automotive electrical and powertrain, engine controls and onboard diagnostics, steering, suspension, braking, air conditioning. You put all that together your first 2 years and building a good foundation. Your second 2 years that you're with us, you have ultimate flexibility to where you can start taking a lot of our advanced upper level technical courses, as you can see on the upper right hand side. You can take a separate course in vehicle stability and noise, vibration, harshness. Or if you want to take a separate course just in, let's say you want to learn about diesel. We have another course on diesel engine performance and emissions. Or maybe you want to learn about hybrid and electric vehicle technology, or electric vehicle propulsion systems, or autonomous and intelligent mobility systems. You can see we offer more upper level advanced technical training than any other program. But then also we have automotive business and management courses. Things like automotive fixed operations, automotive parts, automotive financial, automotive warranty, process improvement, variable operations, customer retention. These are focused automotive business and management courses. And so how you piece all of this together is you can actually build into your curriculum emphasis areas, such as, let's say, if you want to have an emphasis in truck and diesel technology, you can do that at SIU. Or if you want to package these together slightly differently, you can actually embed a minor and build a minor into your program, such as a minor in advanced vehicle systems and diagnostics, or a minor in automotive truck and equipment management. Or if you package various courses together, you might even be able to do a dual major. We have a dual major in mechanical engineering and electrical engineering. And in fact, we are the only university in the nation that you can actually do that at. So it's 1 degree, but it's a very flexible degree, because as we talked about these jobs, it's a wide variety of different jobs out there. We don't shoehorn you and lock you into one path that you can't move out of, because we'll start you going along a particular path of what you're interested in doing. Let's say that, hey, I want to learn technical. I want to be that serviceability engineer. No problem. We'll adjust your curriculum and put you in more of our upper level technical courses. But let's say you hear of a job opportunity and you interview with a particular company and it really excites you, and they're saying, well, you should actually maybe get more automotive management courses. Not a problem. You can actually shift gears any semester you want without losing track of what you were doing. And so you can one semester take more business and management, another semester take more technical. You have ultimate flexibility in your curriculum. So it's a very individualized type of program. You're not locked into one area with SIU. Does that make sense to everybody? Any questions so far? Okay, everybody good? All right, excellent. Well, you put together 300 or so automotive students, they're going to want to do some automotive stuff. And so we have a Society of Automotive Engineers student group, automotive ambassadors. We have the nation's only women in automotive transportation technology group. And our student groups go on plant tours and industry tours. They have professional seminars going on. Volunteerism is a big thing. Social events are a big thing. And then, of course, you put automotive students together, they're going to want to do racing. So we've got a variety of racing teams. And so with some of our racing teams, we have a Honda Del Sol autocross racing team. If you go to our YouTube channel, you'll see some videos up there of our autocross racing team. We also have a 66 Chevy Nova 2 drag racing team. And there's some videos. In fact, I think I got a video too here. I'll show you real quick on that. We're building up a second drag racing team with a S10 truck. In fact, we're going to do an LS engine on that. Or if you're interested in restoration, we've got actually some restoration teams. We have a 59 Rambler, a 54 Chevy truck, and we just got in a 72 MG that our students are going to get involved in. Or if you like the off-road stuff, you like the rock climbing and the mud puddles and all that stuff like that, or camping and outdoors, we have an SIU off-road team as well. But then we have the SAE Formula Racing, which is sort of like a go-kart on steroids. SAE Mini Baja Racing, that's a four-wheeler on steroids. But anyway, you can get involved in a lot of different student activities. Students here are just like you. They got the exact same passion. That's our drag racing team. Students drive it, students break it, students have fun fixing it. There's another one. So we have fun. We have a lot of different events. And in fact, this was just the other month. We actually have a car meet with our students. You guys probably get to know each other by what vehicles you're driving or what your friends are driving. So when you see them 3 blocks away, you go, hey, that's so-and-so. But anyway, we have a student car meet each year, and it's usually sponsored by one of the major vehicle manufacturers. General Motors sponsored it this year. And so they shipped in their brand new Corvette, mid-engine Corvette for our students, and also a new blacked out edition of their Chevy Denali, Tahoe Denali. But actually, that was the first showing of their mid-engine Corvette, first public showing outside of a major car show in the United States. Was here in good old SIU Carbondale. So we get involved in a lot of different things. But what we're going to try to do, I'm going to end sharing my screen. I've got Ryan here. Ryan, I'll get him up on my cell phone here, but we're going to take you on a tour through our labs here real quick. But like I said, if you have questions on all of this, it's automotive.siu.edu or autotech@siu.edu. You can always reach us. And so I'm going to stop my screen share here, and we're going to try to share my screen on my cell phone as we start heading out to the labs here.